The Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, Canada is the first track we visit for V8SCOPS 2020. In the real world, it's the home of the Canadian Grand Prix, and since 1978 has built a reputation as a difficult track that produces exciting racing. That's certainly true in the sim world as well. This place has become one of the best tracks to watch Australian touring cars on the iRacing eSports network. Located in public parkland on a man-made island, the 14-turn track is temporary and publicly accessible for most of the year. It's a circuit comprised mainly of chicanes, which might not sound too fun on paper, but with close walls, long full throttle sections, and varying corner speeds, it ends up being a tight but fast and flowing ride. That said, if you think this circuit is cramped, just be grateful you're not driving on the original layout from 1978. You had a few more turns to contend with back then. The drivers will want to watch out in the first half of lap 1. A full field of cars going through the narrow canyon from turns 2 to 6 can be a recipe for disaster if you don't take care. We've seen plenty of pile-ups here in the past. Turns 5 and 6 are crucial. The cars that usually race here can take the right-hand sweeper flat out, no problem, but these cars need a light balancing of the throttle to keep the weight on the fronts so you can get over to driver's right for turn 6. If you're battling and you keep the throttle in just a little bit more, you end up in prime position for a defense or a pass. The exit of this chicane and the one after it have exits that open up, and you have walls greeting you in both cases if you make a mistake. 650 horsepower through a locked differential doesn't like accelerating through a curve, generally, so a mixture of caution and confidence is needed when putting the right foot down. Meanwhile, down at the hairpin, we find the most obvious overtaking opportunity on the circuit. A curving run-up into heavy braking. I'd say most drivers would use first gear here, and then a nice wide exit to maximize your run onto the casino straight. At the other end of this straight, we come to the most extreme examples of Montreal's difficulty. First up, the pit entry. It's a fast one, on the racing line, that requires you to brake later than you would if you were taking the last chicane normally. If you've got no one in front of you, happy days, but if drivers are in a pack when the pit window opens, there's high potential for a fender bender if they don't keep their eyes open. Then there's the chicane itself. This track has big curves on many of its turns, and using them to maintain momentum is key to lap time, especially in these heavy beasts. But iRacing's automated penalty system is in full effect here, so if you make even the slightest mistake, if you push slightly too far, you'll be hit with a brutal slowdown. Even the best drivers fall victim to this, so it's very much a risk versus reward lap around this track. Who's going to fall prey to Montreal's foibles? Who will come out on top? Find out this weekend as we get rolling on the biggest V8 SCOPS season yet.